Today I'm going to cast something that I might actually use. I'm making some Christmas gifts for some people, and I'm going to be casting the main component of the thing. And I got to thinking, I need a rod. I need an aluminum rod that's, 3/8 of an inch or so. And I thought, well, I could go buy one, but then I got thinking, why don't I just cast it? Why don't I just try to make something? So this is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to cast something that I'm actually going to use as opposed to, Mordor's battle axe thing, whatever. I'm going to cast 3/8 inch rod. So let's take a look at this thing and we'll get started on it. All right, so here's one that I've already done. I can only do one of these at a time. My flask only really only fit one, unfortunately, but that's okay. It gave me an opportunity to make another video. And you can see there's a couple of imperfections in it. It's not perfect, but it'll actually be pretty good for what I'm trying to make here. So this is my pattern. It's a piece of 3/8 inch mild steel that we're going to just ram up inside the flask. So let's get it going. Okay, ordinarily I would I'd put some cornstarch or I'd put some talc on here, but this is pretty darn smooth and it releases really well. So we're just going to go ahead and get it started in there. As always, we're going to get some real fine Petrobond on there, just to make sure we get a good coating on it and get a nice smooth casting. Okay, we got our coating on there. Good. Press it down on there nice and slick. And now you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a second. You can't cast that round thing like that. It's not going to come out. It's never going to come out of the mold. Well, I got a trick for you. Hang in there. I'll go ahead and get this rammed up. Now we'll pack in the rest of this stuff, and I'll show you what we're going to do. Let me get this cleaned up and we'll flip her over. Okay, all cleaned up. Now you're saying, well, you dummy, you buried your rod in there. And you're right, I did. But this is what we're going to do. I'm going to use my professional parting tool here. And I'm going to come down approximately halfway. I don't know how close I am. We'll be pretty close. And if I'm not, I'll just pack some sand back in there or dig somewhere out. I had to go find these. I can't see. I was told the other day by a guy, comment, and I just cracked up. I really did. I cracked up when I read it. He said, you look just like a serial killer from this show on I can't remember if it was Showtime or HBO or something, called Dexter. Character John Lithgow played. He said, you look just like him, serial killer. Great. Just what I wanted. But it was fun. I told him I enjoyed his comment. Okay, so now we've got it halfway exposed here. I'm going to go ahead, and this is just cornstarch, because it seems to work just as well as talc for what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and get this coated up. so we don't, our sand doesn't stick together. Okay, here we go. Same trick, right? Because we're gonna be we want a nice clean surface on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and sift it. This is something I am having to train myself to learn to put these things in here. Got to have your sprue and your vent. I guess it's a vent. Maybe it's a up tube, out. I don't know what I can't remember now. Up tube, maybe. Anyway, we got to have a place to pour metal in and get metal out. So get these in here now before I forget. And we're just gonna press this sand down around that rod and push it into the groove that we just carved with my professional parting tool. All right, it's good. I'll go ahead and get this thing filled in as well. I'm learning that I don't have to have this top side perfectly smooth. I used to try to smooth it out perfectly around these things, and I realized that as I was doing that, I was also going right back in here and building up mounds of sand around here. So I'm not going to take a lot of care to get this thing perfect on the top, just because it doesn't have to be perfect on the top. There's no, at least I don't know of any reason. I'm sure it will come to me someday, or maybe someone will tell me why this surface here has to be perfect. So we're going to go ahead and build up a couple of mounds. And I've seen guys do this with cans, and I need to get a couple of soup cans or tuna fish cans or something cans that I can put around here and build up a taller sprue and a taller, man, I keep wanting to call this thing a vent, but it's not. I don't think it's called a vent. It's got a real name. I got to go look that up. If you see me flashing on this screen, it's because I remember to go look it up. If I don't flash it on the screen, it's because I'm old and I forget all the time. But the intent is here that you want to get, I want to build these up higher so that I have more pressure, more weight of the aluminum going down into the mold than as possible. Not so much than, but as I can possibly get, just to get a nice solid casting in there without any voids and things like that. So we're just going to sort of build up, and I realize this is not a lot, but I'm going to build up just an inch or two of sand up here and just get these things so that they are taller. I'm going to use my multi-purpose parting tool now. This is not just a parting tool. I mean, this thing is used for all sorts of stuff. There's some specialty shops you can find these things in. We're just going to cut a nice channel here for the lava to flow, because as I've said before, when I pour this stuff, I don't want it going out. I want it coming in. I want it to stay on this sand and not attacking me like I'm sure it would be prone to do, because that's just how things work, isn't it? I mean, yeah. You think, oh, I'm going to build this thing at an angle so that it would always flow here, and as soon as you pour it, it goes up, it defies gravity, and it goes above, it goes up above and comes after you. So we're going to try everything I can do to keep this thing contained within the flask. All right. Pack down any little loose sand granules because I don't want them falling into my mold. Let me get things cleaned up and we'll separate it. Okay, there are multiple moments of truth. This is the first moment of truth. Can I get this thing separated? So we're gonna lift it straight up and set it down. and it looks pretty darn good. Now, let me change the camera angle here so you can see that what I'm seeing. You see what happened on the top half here? See if that helps. You can see that it's taken the same shape as what I just carved out. So now I've got both halves of this metal carved into this top piece. Hopefully that's going to be exactly what I need. So far, with the first one, it worked out really well. So we're gonna hope this one does the same thing. All right, next thing I got to do. I need to cut a vent. This is the vent. These are gate. These are gates. Maybe that is a vent. This is a gate. I'm going to do a gate from one of these corners to the other. I probably made this thing way too far away, but we're going to use my gate cutting tool here. And I want to get down below. I got to get down below this surface here so that I can get aluminum in around the top half. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. Ah, yeah, there we go. Now you can see what I'm seeing. I need to get down below this surface here, again, so that I can get past the top half of the mold. And one thing I found too is, so far for me anyway, bigger gates tend to work better than smaller gates. I don't get as much, if you think about a small gate, you're going to reduce the amount of volume you're going to be able to get through or to the pattern or to the mold, to the mold. And I don't want that. I want it to flow in here really, really easily. I don't want it to be encumbered in any way. I want it to just go. So clean that off of there. That's that one. I'll go ahead and cut this one as well. This will be the vent. I'm going to pour into this side, and we're going to just vent out this way. And I want it to go as close to the end here as I can. I probably could have done a better job of placing my sprue in my vent, but again, I'm going to cut down below. Give it plenty of area for the aluminum to flow. I always cut these little sort of pockets at the bottom here too. Just, I don't know why. I think it something tells me it's better. It probably makes zero difference, but something tells me just having a nice open area for this to come up through this vent tube and come out of the sprue is better than not. So anyway, there's that. Those are ready to go. Just a quick little brush just to make sure I got all the loose stuff out. Okay, I think I'm clean there. Yep. Better move the camera. All right, now I got to get these guys out of here. I'm just going to twist them easily, and they usually come out pretty, look at that. Came out pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and form up the top. So I can't turn this around. You can see. I don't want any of this stuff. I don't want any of this stuff right here down inside my aluminum. So I'm going to just sort of pack it around and get it out of the way. Anything that's going to break off, I just need to have it break off now so I can blow it out of there, get it out of the way. Because I don't want it in my aluminum when I pour. So that's sort of the idea here, what I'm doing to dress this up. And these I should be able to just blow them out clean. All good. Now, here's the trick. Change the camera again. Yep. Here's the trick I've got for you. How am I going to get this rod out of here? This worked once before. It worked really, really good. And I'm hoping it works this time. Magnets, magnets. And you won't believe what happened. If it goes like I did the first time I did this, it was amazing. I thought I was gonna have to set it on there, pull it out. Man, I got close and it leaped out of the mold. So let's just see if we can't. I mean, I can already start feeling pull right here. Look at that. Man, that is nice. Beautiful. All right. Let's get this thing back together again and we'll melt it. There we go. Let's go get some aluminum melted. Okay, I actually like working with stuff I've already melted. When I melt, you'll see that this is stuff that I poured out before. It came off the top of the mold. I've got, I don't know why I'm pulling this all out of here to show you. But I've just got solid pieces. There's a sprue or a vent from before. This stuff melts so much cleaner because a lot of the dross, a lot of the impurities have already been melted out of this stuff. And so when I melt cans or melt scrap aluminum, I can't tell you how much mess I get out of that stuff. And I just as soon not deal with that. So I like melting things into ingots now and just get it cleaned up before I start trying to use it. Turn my gas on. Go. We'll come back in about 10 minutes and remelt it or pour it. Okay, here goes the pour. Down the sprue, out the vent. Let's hope it fills everything else up in there. Make us a couple more ingots. Okay, here's what we started with. Here's what we're hoping for. And because I'm impatient, this is hot, but we're going to put it in there anyway. Knock the sand off and just see what we got. Woohoo! It be steaming. Okay. Grab something to grab that with. See what we got. Well, that's so far that's a that's a good sign. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It appears to have cast me a rod. Let me get this cleaned up and we'll take a good look at it. All right, it looks pretty good. Went all the way to the end. You can see it there, went all the way to the end. Parting line doesn't look too bad. I mean, I can see it, but it's not bad, and we're going to clean it up here in a minute. So let me show you the next thing I'm going to do with these things. Kind of the poor man's lathe. We're going to clean this stuff up on my drill press, and I'm sure someone will say, "You idiot! That's the most unsafe thing you can do." We're going to do it anyway. So let me get these, cut these guys off, and I'll show you what I've got going on my drill press. Alrighty, last step. So I knew, my first inclination was just to shove this thing down into the chuck and you know, try to work it. But I knew that I would be bending it all out of shape if I did that because it needs something holding the bottom. So I came up with this ingenious tool. I took a piece of 1/4 inch by whatever it is here and drilled a 3/8 inch hole through it so that the bottom of my rod will actually fit in there. And I'll be able to hold this thing relatively solid while I work on the main surface of the thing. So I get this clamped on here, and we'll see if we can't get these guys turned up, cleaned up. Okay, so I got it down inside the bar. I don't know if you can see a little bit of filing coming off there, but I got a lathe now. I'm just going to use my file to sort of dress this thing up if I can. Clean off some of the high edges of the parting line, and just get it reasonably round. All right, looks pretty good. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take sandpaper, and I've got some. What is this? This is 220. It's probably too fine, but we'll just take this 220 and kind of start to buff it out, and we'll move up to a little bit higher grit and see if we can't polish it just a hair. Getting closer, kind of the same colors, and I need some. That's 220. That's 220. I need something finer, grit. Where is it? I was just looking at the camera. It looks like this thing is in here like a radical angle. From here, it doesn't look bad. In real life, must be the camera's. I'm sure it's the camera, not me. This is 800 grit. Not bad at all. In fact, that one probably looks better. About the same. But pretty happy with that. It looks good. It looks cast. It doesn't look like I bought it in a store, which is exactly the look I was going for. And yet it's pretty darn straight, and it's pretty darn round, and I got two that look almost identical. I'm happy. Last step, we're gonna cut some threads on this guy. And here's my awesome bench again. Oh, it's embarrassing. Well, if it was embarrassing, I'd clean it up probably. So maybe it's not. Maybe it should be embarrassing. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead. This is the end that was in the chuck, and so it's the least attractive of it. I'm gonna go ahead and just clean this guy up real quick. Just roughly clean it up, because I'm going to tap it, or I'm going to not tap it. I'm going to cut threads with a die. Tap is what goes in the hole. I'm just going to get this kind of flattened off. Take just a little sandpaper. Just make it look a little better. Okay, so I am going to cut, these are 3/8 16. That means it's 3-inch diameter and 16 threads per inch. So probably should start with a little bit of a point on here. But it's cutting. Okay, I'm going to call that good. That'll thread in nicely into what I'm going to put it into, and it'll be perfect. So there you go. Something actually useful out of the foundry furnace. Something I can cast and something I can use. So. I always hate saying goodbye when you can't see my face and all you see is my big gut. Have a great day. Hey, as always, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and click the thumbs up button down below. It really does help. If you'd like to be notified when we publish new content, go ahead and click my channel icon to subscribe. And finally, while you're here, take some time to check out some of our other videos. Have a great day and get out there and do something new today.